Hello, hello. I'm Christopher. I'm living out here on this ranch, taking care of horses, like little Francisco here. Super curious and sweet little boy. He nibbles a little, but that's just because he's trying to groom. That's what horses do when they're taking care of one another. But yeah. It's been something like 12 days since I last uploaded. I've been using that time to kind of just practice being me and releasing things that aren't serving me. Francisco's over here trying to nibble on my shoes. He's such a sweetheart. But yeah. It's kind of interesting to have this experience. I mean, honestly, every aspect of life at this point is interesting for some reason or other. But we all, a lot of us tend to discount different aspects of life. A lot of us discount who we are, especially as we start out on this spiritual path of growth, of exploring what love means, of trying to figure out who we are. We have this tendency to throw ourselves away in that process. We want to be profound, we want to be loving, we want to be what we envision as being perfection. But we all came into this reality, this life, with a purpose. We chose our families and our starting situations, and a lot of the masters talk about how we probably chose knowing what sorts of traumas we would interact with, we would experience. We chose our personality traits, our desires, because there's something to be learned through every single aspect of this human self. And more I'm coming to see that the goal is not to completely conquer the human self. The goal is to integrate fully the spirit self, the higher self, and the human self. To bring both together into union. Someone's off in the field calling one of the horses. I'm guessing they're telling their companion off for getting too close. But yes, so the goal is to learn who you are and to love yourself, to really learn to love and accept yourself as you are. Because if you're sitting in judgment of yourself, then you can never really release judgment of anybody else either. And in this pathway of love, we have to release that judgment. We have to In order to truly embody love, I think acceptance does seem to be one of the first steps. Acceptance, allowance, surrender. And if we're, as I already said, we've got to find a way to love ourselves. We have to find a way to allow ourselves to be as we are in order to facilitate any transformation we do desire. Because if we're resisting, if we're spending, it expends energy when we're in judgment. It expends energy when we're trying to resist who we are, when we're trying to change who and what we are. And so change, intentional change, we can do it without full acceptance and allowance and surrender, but it requires massive effort and willpower to do that. And there are people that do it. There are people that have become millionaires and billionaires that still hate themselves. We see that their actions are evidence of that. Anyone who acts in a hateful manner still hates themselves in some way. You can't see it, but I am just absolutely coated in flies. Perks of being on a horse ranch. You deserve to love yourself. You deserve to have that peace of mind, that full peace in your body. You deserve to be able to breathe that deep breath, that deep sigh of relief, in knowing that you don't have to hate yourself. You don't have to dislike yourself. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to be accepted by other people. Although, when you do find your way into totally loving yourself, and as you walk the path of self-acceptance and self-love and that releasing of judgment and that embodiment of what it is to be love, you'll find yourself surrounded with people who do love and accept and appreciate you. That's coming. That's for you. You've got this. You're on the right path. If you're seeing this video and it resonates with you in some sense, even if it doesn't, hopefully it's sowing some seeds. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to walk the path that I'm walking. You don't have to walk the path of anyone else. You have your own unique individual road that you are walking, and that only you can know the right way to walk. As you release this judgment of the self, as you release these ideas that you're somehow wrong for liking the things you like, or for desiring the things you desire, you can begin to trust yourself and to trust your own discernment, your own inner guidance. And that's the goal. Learn to love yourself. Learn to accept yourself. Learn to trust yourself. And sometimes, like happened in my life over the last few days, sometimes trusting your own inner guidance can be really, really scary. Like for me, it required that I've been receiving coaching that I wasn't having to pay money for. We were bartering, and most of her clients are paying her several $1,000s for what I was receiving, and I was mowing her lawn and helping her with other little projects. And while I was able to, and I still do, see the absolute value in what she provides, a large part of me recognized that that wasn't for me. It wasn't working for me. It wasn't the type of guidance that I need at this point, or need, that is most helpful to me at this point. And so I've been arguing with myself internally for a week or more on whether or not I should just go ahead and end the arrangement, because it wasn't working for me, and that's okay. And I see the value, and I see how if I were to follow all those steps, I would achieve that goal that we had set and we were working toward. But when you have that inner guidance and you can learn to trust yourself, when I did finally go along with the guidance that I've been receiving from within myself, and I reached out and I said, hey, I appreciate what you do, but I need to move on. It was fine. It worked out beautifully. We went and had tea, and it was great. And I feel an immense sense of peace as a result of that. And when you follow that inner guidance, that's what you have waiting for you, is peace. Genuine peace within yourself, because you're following your own guidance. And yes, sometimes that's going to mean you make a mistake, or maybe sometimes it's hard to tell whether you're acting out of fear-based ego or out of love. Whether the decisions you're making are keeping you small, or is it making room for something bigger? So find your way into allowing yourself to be as you are. Trusting and loving yourself as you are. You don't have to change. You don't have to become someone or something else. You don't have to take on ideas that other people are telling you are right. Yes, most of the people who are sharing anything with you want the best for you. Your parents, your family, your loved ones. Maybe they're pushing you to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever because they want you to have a good living. But if that's not for you, then you need to not. You need to follow your own path. And as long as you're willing to continue listening to yourself, to continue moving along the path of love, learning and being and just figuring it out as you go, you're gonna start having more and more just absolutely beautiful manifestations in your life. I think that's it. I did last night record a meditation which I'll get uploaded. Just a 15-minute guided meditation. If you find yourself thinking about it, give it a shot. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether on this video or on the meditation or any of my other videos, if you find it helpful, like, subscribe. If you subscribe, it'll help ensure that you receive an alert whenever I launch another video. Yeah. Go with love. Be well.